Alright, bit late. I was planning on doing this video earlier, but I slept in a lot. Anyways, this will be my recap of the Ultimate Fight Night 17. I didn't watch it live because I had previous engagements, and some people know what those are, and some people don't, and that is cool. But anyways, I saw the rerun. It took a little something away from it. I would recommend if you can see the live one, do it. I don't know, it just that feeling that this has already happened. And even though I don't know who's going to win, it was a bit. Yeah. I only lost one fight on this card. Unfortunately, it was the main event, which I gambled on Jeremy Stevens on. We'll get to that in a moment, though. First up was Anthony Johnson, Luigi Fioravanti. Good fight. Both guys showed some stuff. Kind of like I expected, although I thought that it would go longer. Anthony Johnson just too fast, too technical striking ability, with a lot of knockout power. Luigi has a good chin, so like I said, I was a little surprised it ended in the first round, but this way it goes. Luigi did try for a takedown, which was good, because that means he was fighting smart. I get annoyed when guys don't do that. Could not get Johnson down, though, which they pointed out numerous times. Johnson has a great wrestling background, and that dude is a nightmare at 170. End discussion. We haven't really seen him tested by a really good fighter. Like, Luigi may actually be the best fighter he's fought. So we do need to see a little bit more from him before we start, labeling future champion and all that on him. But if he is as good as he appears, he could probably fight up there with, he would probably make a decent fight with GSP, which would be neat. But his ground game, we still don't know what that looks like. He got tapped pretty easily by Rich Franklin. He did control Kevin Burns, but Kevin Burns, his ground game isn't as good as I think people thought it was after the Carnero fight. I think he, not that he got lucky. I mean, he's definitely better than your typical blue belt level, but still not a great ground fighter. Next fight was, I may be doing these a little out of order though, is the only thing. Yeah, I can't remember what the next fight was precisely. Oh wait, no, it was the Josh Neer Mac Danzig fight, I think. Both fighters look pretty good in this fight. Josh Neer is getting more and more technical, but he's also getting more and more Diaz-like, which may not be an overly good thing. Josh Neer showed he actually out-grappled Mac Danzig for the most part, which was surprising. He outstruck Mac Danzig, which was also a bit surprising. I thought he would win a decision by controlling the fight, but he really didn't do it that way. He really damaged Danzig pretty well, and eventually got the submission via triangle choke. Josh Neer is a scary guy at 155 because he's getting better and better, and he's huge. Is he a title contender? No, but I mean, this guy is definitely a gatekeeper that if you can beat Mac or Josh Neer, you're probably going places. Cain Velasquez, Dennis Stojnick. Stojnick showed basically two things in this fight. He has good takedown defense, and he has a hell of a chin. He's very tough, because, I mean, Cain Velasquez, they said it many times, he stopped every fighter he's fought, and the punishment he dealt out, I thought, he would easily stop him, but he didn't. That being said, Stojnick looked terrible. His striking looked terrible. I don't know what was with him. Maybe it's octagon jitters, maybe it's an unknown injury. I don't know, but if he looks like that, I mean, there's very few guys I'm going to pick him over. As for Cain, moving up, give him someone tougher. He hasn't had a great test. I mean, his biggest test was Jake O'Brien, and Jake O'Brien's not the same fighter he was pre-back injury as he is post-back injury. As for who exactly? Interesting. They're talking about Harndog versus Congo. I thought Congo would probably be a somewhat decent test for Cain, but that can't happen. Possibly Junior Dos Santos, but he's fighting Stefan Struve. I really don't know. You don't want to put him against Shane Carwin because that's your other big meal ticket. So it's hard to say. It really is hard to say where you go with that. If you still had Fabricio Verdum on contract, I would have thought he would have been a good one, but you cut him. because he's boring. I don't know. I really don't know. You think I'd have some guys to go against, but I mean, they've seemingly paired up everyone for matches already, so it's a little harder. Next up was... Is this where we got the Grice Beach fight? I think this is where we got Matt Grice versus Matt Beach. Matt Beach looked like the more technical fighter at the beginning, but God, by the end of the first round, they had both thrown technique out the door. Swinging wildly, swinging for the KO. Matt Beach just gotta learn to keep composure, because I think this is probably the first time he's really been pressured in a fight, and he's got to work on that, because he will get pressured in the UFC lightweight division. You need to keep your technical level up and not throw it out the window. And he did. But he got the win. He's got nice knockout power, because I don't think Matt Grice has been finished with strikes before. Matt Grice had a nice looking anaconda, but a very ugly looking guillotine attempt. As for Matt Grice, what does this mean for him? Memory serves, I think he's 1-2 in the UFC with a win over Jason Black, who really didn't adjust to lightweight very well. And losses to Matt Veach and Terry Edom. He may have had another fight in there. I keep thinking he has, but I can't think of it. He'll get another fight probably, though. He looked decent enough to warrant such a fight. As for Matt Veach, step up in competition, maybe someone like Matt Wyman or Rafael Dos Anjos, if you're keeping him around, would also be a decent idea. Or if you still got him, David Barron, or a Baron, pardon me. Next up, we had, I believe, the main event of the evening: Joe Lauzon versus Jeremy Stephens. I took Stephens. This was my low loss of the night. Stephens looked good at times, but he didn't seem afraid enough of the ground, which was the problem. Like, when he got on top, it's like, you can stand up and let this fight get back to the feet. You're beating him on the feet, but he didn't do that, and he fought a bit dumb. What are you gonna do? It was a pretty entertaining fight, though, and that's really what it was there for. It was a lackluster main event, in all honesty. I think it subtracted a little bit for the card when people were thinking about watching it, that this was going to be on there. But anyways, Lauzon finishes him with an armbar in the second round. Lauzon looked really, really good on the ground. His stand-up looked like it needed work, which is odd, because his stand-up usually looks pretty good. And then finally, it was Dan Miller versus Jake Rosholt. Jake Rosholt comes out, gets a takedown. Miller gets back up after using the leg lock to reverse things, and then eventually finishes his out. And that's kind of what I thought was going to happen. Rosholt is a great wrestler, and his stand-up is actually pretty solid, but man needs to work on his grappling. Any decent grappler at 185 is going to get him, I think, and that is a problem for a wrestler. But that's my review of UFN 17. I keep thinking there was another fight on the card, but I don't have the results up, and I don't feel like redoing this video, so post it down there, and I will do a little text recap, I guess, if I miss one. Anyways, peace out.